So last time we saw great dragon body suddenly loomed. The dragon body guarding the impenetrable void. She, the dragon, adversary of the slow struggling dawn. She will oppose the coming of dawn. She will not allow the dawn to appear in the void. Dawn, of course, stands for the spiritual light, the light of the spirit in the void. That will not be allowed. Defending its ground a tortured mystery. Tortured mystery. What a phrase. It trailed its coils to the dead martyred air and curved, fled down a great slope of time. This is what we saw last time. Now we are moving to the next section. It is a longer section than what we have seen just now. But I think relatively it is an easier section. Section 1 was a very tough section. Section 1 was a little tough section. This one is a little easier. At least let's hope that it is easier. So we can move little fast also, perhaps.
Why? Because it's easier, we have to move fast.
We can move a little fast also.
It's better to...
Go in your own way. Okay. Yeah. Now, this is a very unusual section. And one really wonders what is the connection of this section with the storyline. What is the purpose it is serving? What it is there for at all? But then, although it is not a tortured mystery, it is certainly a kind of charming mystery. It casts a spell on you. Charm in the sense of spell. It casts a kind of spell on you. So it is a spell actually. Now, the spell is like a net which is thrown around you, and it is a kind of a magic under which you are held. And you start dreaming, you start imagining most marvelous things in the world, that this could happen, that could happen, all those things. Therefore, it is a kind of a dream twilight also. Dream twilight of the earthly real. It is what one might call a magical spell which is cast, an illusion which is spread around you. It is what the occultists would say, Indra Jala. I don't know if you heard of the Indra Jala, the net of Indra. Indra throws his net around you. God Indra.
God Indra?
It is a kind of that Indra Jala. Very often in the tradition, in the Puranic tradition, when a spiritual aspirant, a rishi who has done great tapasya, is allured by Indra, is offered all kinds of gifts, all kinds of luxuries, Okay, you can have these apsaras, you can have these ladies, you can enjoy with anybody whatever you like. The whole idea is to prevent that aspiring soul to enter into heaven. If you are able to withstand that spell, if you have qualified yourself sufficiently, then you can enter into Indra's world of real beauty, real joy, real charm. So, this is in that sense the net of Indra, which is what we are going to see in this section. Here, of course, it is not in the sense of Indra who is throwing the net around the aspirant soul. It is in the world of death itself that ideal is seen. Savitri has ideas of something beautiful happening here. She wants the divine possibilities to express themselves in this creation. But according to Yama, he will show you, look, this is what your imagination is. Do you believe in this? Do you think they can become real in this world? So that is the kind of a spell he is going to throw on around Savitri. There is a morning twilight of the gods. So there is, of course, early morning, light is there for the gods, of the heavenly possibilities, of what? Miraculous from sleep, their forms arise, and God's long nights are justified by dawn. Miraculous from their sleep, there stands for, of course, gods. There is a morning twilight of the gods, miraculous from sleep, their forms arise. So they are themselves coming out of the sleep, because this is the world of dream, twilight. So there is a sleep, and therefore the dream is there. From sleep, the forms arise of these gods, and God's long nights are justified by dawn. Now, this God is, of course, different than these gods. The forms of the universal powers which are operating here are these gods, universal deities, universal powers. This God is the creator God, the transcendent God, the Supreme Himself. So, this God, therefore, this is G capital, and this is plural gods. And God's long nights are justified by dawn. So, why this passage to the night? Well, the justification is that later on you are going to enter into the world of dawn. So, all right, today you are living in misery, in suffering, in the night, in the darkness, but don't get disappointed. There will be happiness, there will be joy, there will be beauty, there will be love, and that will be the dawn, which is beauty. So it is this God's night. In other words, this God has created night for a purpose. For a purpose. So don't get immediately disappointed, don't worry about things, it will happen. There breaks a passion and splendor of new birth. Splendor of new birth. That is the promise of this God. That is the dawn which is prepared by this God. There is a promise of new birth. Birth in the powers of the Spirit. And hewing visions stray across the lids. Lids means eye, because it's sleeping, open out. You wing. Now this is a very peculiar phrase. You, colored wings. You winged visions. So the visions are you winged. The dreaming deities look beyond the scene and fashion in their thoughts the ideal worlds sprung from a limitless moment of desire that once had lodged in some abysmal heart. So it is the desire which is really present in this creation, at the bottom of the creation. And it is that desire, that urge to be here, that urge to be here is what is prompting all these things to happen. Now, dreaming deities, all these gods which have been dreaming in the night and fashion their thoughts, their ideal worlds, they create ideal worlds, sprang from a limitless moment of desire. In fact, that is the crucial line. Why these deities fashion these worlds? Because there is a limitless moment's desire that once had lodged in some abysmal heart. See, although there is night, although there is inconscience, although there is darkness, in it is lodged the desire. In it is lost the desire. Desire to express the powers of the Spirit in this void, to create the worlds of beauty, love, joy in this abysmal situation. That is the desire. Now, sprang from a limitless desire, moment of desire. Actually, it is the desire which is there at the bottom of things, which has made possible for the evolution to occur. It is because I want to grow in spite of all these things here. Yes, I am here in the nothing, in the zero, in the void. It is all dark and all that. Still, I want to grow. That is the desire of something which is lost there in the void. And it is that which prompts every action. The desire is the one which compelled the mortal birth of Savitri. 5.1. A worse desire compelled her mortal birth. How did it compel worse desire? This worse desire is a very weak entity here in the enormity of night or the void of all that inconscience. The worse desire is a very feeble desire. It cannot sustain itself against all these powers. Therefore, that worse desire has to be strengthened. Some kind of a yogic tapasya has got to be done to carry this worse desire to the Supreme. And when it is taken to the Supreme, and when the Supreme accepts it, then the mortal birth of the divine power occurs. In fact, all those 11,000 lines of part 1 of Savitri are in the context of this worse desire, this desire being taken by Yogi Ashwapati to the Supreme Mother, to the Supreme Divine Goddess. All this tapasya is going through all these planes of consciousness, through all these worlds, taking them to the Divine Goddess, And then he offers that prayer to her. Look, this is the worst desire which is lingering there in the void. You had to answer it. You had to respond to that worst desire. And therefore, it compels her mortal birth. Unless you take the mortal birth, things cannot happen here. The worst desire cannot be fulfilled here. So, as I said last time, she is compelled by astropathy, and in response to it, she accepts it. Both, I might compel you, but you have to still accept it. She accepts it, and then she condescends to pass through the portal to the birth, that is a death. She comes down as Savitri, and part 2 onward it begins. So, you have here limitless moment of desire, the entire echo of creation. The echo of creation, of evolution, is kind of compressed in one single phrase. So if you had to explain limitless moment of desire, you had to explain the entire part 1. 11,000 lines. So that is the power of compression of poetry. So what is here in 4 words, limitless moment of desire, what is here in 4 words? I don't know whether even 4 life divines or 400 life divines or 4 million life divines can really bring out what is there in one single phrase here. You see. Sprang from a limitless moment of desire that once had lodged in some abysmal heart. So he has put everything in one sentence, in 2 lines he has put everything. That once had lodged in some abysmal heart. Now here also again, how has that desire sprung up? That desire has sprung up because the Divine Himself has plunged into the void. The Divine Himself has, when there was the void created, then the horror of that creation, in order to solve it, the Divine Himself plunged into it. And that is what the Mother calls Satyavan. He is the first permanent avatar. And it is his desire to come up from that. Some abysmal heart. He is now, what we have got in the story of Savitri, Satyavan in the grip of death. He has put himself there.